Welcome to Norfolk, a county known for agriculture and motorsport. Van Diemen, the Formula Ford Festival, and of course Lotus all hail from this East Anglian county. The Lotus 79 is arguably the County of Norfolk's greatest ever export. Welcome to Lotus 79 live from Snetterton here on the Global SimRacing Channel. I'm Peter Mackay, and I am privileged to be joined in the booth by the better half of Double Scotch, Ryan Walker. Behind the scenes is our director, Sean Ambrose, and he is using camera angles perfected by Dougie Beer. Now, Snetterton is an iconic British circuit with a lot of heritage. Here's our Global SimRacing Channel track guide to tell you a bit more about it.
Welcome to Snetterton Circuit. Like many British tracks that were born shortly after World War II, this venue was made out of an old military airfield. It's a mere 30 minutes drive from Norwich and offers up 3 different layouts of varying lengths. This means the track is easily able to host international, regional, and club level racing. Previously rather simple, the circuit's most recent update in 2011 introduced a twisty infield section. Still, it's mainly punctuated by 2 very long straights, the Senna Straight, where the pits are located, and the Bentley Straight, which acts as the backstretch. As you'd expect for a track born out of an airfield, there's little in the way of elevation change. However, the one spot in which you do find some undulation, it really stands out. The bomb hole dips cars down in the middle of a quick right-hand kink, causing them to have to keep a heads up lest they lose the car. The track is not without character though. Riches is very swift for a first turn and includes 2 distinct apexes. There's also the combination of Brundle and Nelson, which forces drivers to turn hard while braking. Never an easy combination to manage. The long sweeping run through Coram down into Murray's can also be quite tricky. The car will want to drift out, forcing a shallow entry into the final left-hander. But failing to give yourself a good exit will leave you vulnerable to attack down the pit straight. Perhaps not as famous as some other British circuits, this place is a bit of a hidden gem in the UK motorsport scene. Fans who get to witness racing here certainly seem likely to return.
So there you go then, that's the right way around this wonderful Snetterton circuit. Now Ryan, it's a pleasure to be back in the commentary booth with you once again after our brilliant race at the Nürburgring Nordschleife with the Lotus 49 yesterday. We're going to fast forward 11 years, we're now with the Lotus 79. Quite a different beast altogether, and shows you the progress at that point in Formula One. But tell us a little bit more about Snetterton and what the drivers are going to face today in these Grand Prix machines.
Absolutely. So yeah, this series, the Lotus 79 series, will be taking place at Snetterton, like we mentioned. And yeah, some details about the track. It's 2 miles in length, and it has a bit of a history with hosting various series. But the most famous series it's hosted in the past or recently is the British Touring Car Championship, along with the British M3 Championship, the British Superbikes, British GT, and yeah, some other stuff as well, and also the Brit Car Championship as well. And the track is owned or ran by the famous racing driver, or ex-racing driver now, is Jonathan Palmer, who runs the MSV organisation, so who are notorious for owning various tracks around the country. But today, this track will be hosted the Lotus 79, and we should be in for an absolutely fantastic race, and some passing places as well. These drivers might be able to pass in as turn 1 and also into turn 2, and also they could possibly get a run on the back straight, or Bentley Straight as it's called, and also, yeah, maybe the final corner if you're feeling brave. But don't be surprised if you see most of these drivers using high downforce due to the nature of the track.
Absolutely, and these cars, when they go on high downforce, it's like they are glued to the tarmac, and you've got to get really brave to get the most out of them. So today, this is the 10th round of the 12-round series. We're getting into the business end of the championship now. 47 laps around this Snetterton 200 circuit today, so it is going to be busy. And as always here in the Lotus 79 series, there is an open setup, so the drivers spend all week tinkering away with all the little adjustments that they can make to these incredible Lotus 79 machines. And of course, this is the home race for the Lotus 79. It was developed at Hethel, just over 15 miles down the road. Now, Ryan, how are those driver standings looking? Because I know it's pretty close right now.
Yeah, it's really close at the top at the moment in the championship. Andy T at the moment leads with 358 points, but Oscari Renner is only 12 points behind him in second place, with Severi Seppa in third place, 60 points further back. And Itu Vania Kangas is in fourth, with Thomas Simon in fifth. So all really close in the championship, and still all to play for as we come to the end of the season.
So in the team standings, where you'll recognise a lot of these names, of course, here in the Sunday Grand Prix Lotus 79 series. A lot of the drivers using some classic team names and liveries. So at the top is Scuderia Ferrari, leading from Equipe Renault Elf by 34 points. So very, very close in the teams championship. Essex and John Player team Lotus, the local team, are sitting in third, with Rango Aras Beta in fourth, and the Tyrrell Racing team in fifth as well. Some iconic names in there. So the drivers are out at the moment setting their lap times for qualifying, and here at Snetterton, with such a short track that we're on today, the 200 layout, the drivers really need to focus in here, Ryan, because grid position is going to be critical in this race.
Yeah, absolutely, and also with some of these straights, and you've got some tight twisted section as well, so making a move could be difficult. So as it looks like Gernot Fritza is on a good lap at the moment as he's coming into the final couple of corners.
Here he is, a former champion, running the number one plate. Here he goes down the Ayrton Senna straight. Goes Gernot Fritza. Can he go in pole position? No, he does not improve. He stays fourth, but start from the second row of the grid. Andy T parked up in his Renault Elf, but he is sitting on pole position by 58 thousandths of a second right now. Let's watch Marcus Sofzer. Let's see what he can do as he comes down towards the Justin Wilson hairpin, named in honour of the late great Justin Wilson, who sadly lost his life at Pocono a few years ago. Previously called Montreal, that hairpin, Ryan, because Dr. Palmer actually sat on a Sunday watching the Canadian Grand Prix and mapped it out on Google Earth.
That's interesting. It's pretty interesting what the track designers or promoters come up with regards to track design. But it seems to work for Mr. Palmer, as it looks like Ove Trengray is coming up across the line. As Ove Trengray, actually, his lap was already done. As Marcus is coming around the final couple of corners now, and looks to be on a decent lap at the moment, but I don't think it'll be. Actually, he dives into the pits.
Yep, he's backed out of it, as Marcus Sofzer. So let's see what David Sanchez can do here. Oh dear. Well, he is 27th. It would appear. So that looks like we've got the majority of our drivers set their time. Let's see if Ove Trengray can improve in this beautiful Honda livery here with the white and red dot.
Yep, as the Norwegian decides to slow down, and it looks like he might have got an off track possibly and just decided to abandon that lap.
So it looks like that's more or less done as we look at Scary Tree there in the background, which unfortunately blew down a couple of years ago. Very much a feature of the Snetterton circuit, but thankfully the iRacing software team had already scanned it before the Scary Tree was blown down. So it's going to be a close race today. Let's look at the number 13 car. And that warms my heart, this livery, doesn't it, Ryan? Barry West in this Tyrrell. This is just, I know this was after Jackie Stewart's era, but in that sort of Jackie Stewart style paint scheme, that warms my heart very much.
Yeah, it's always been one of my favourite classic liveries. It looks nice but simple, and I think Barry West, that lap might be invalidated because he went slightly wide and went onto the grass. Yeah, he's done.
Okay, so Barry West has got his times. He will start from 20th as he comes down through Rich's Corner, named after Fred Riches, the original landowner, who was also the local church warden, Ryan. So he actually he said, yes, you can go motor racing on my land, but not between 10:45 and 12 p.m. or 12 noon, on a Sunday.
Yeah, interesting. As I think we're just about to go to the grid.
We are. Let's have a look at how they line up for this 10th round of the Lotus 79 Sunday Grand Prix Series here at Snetterton. Andy T will start on pole position with Oskari Rinna alongside him. Row 2 will see Teemu Vaskalampi and Gernot Fritsche. I cannot ever forget their battle at Virginia International Raceway last season. Row 3 will see Eto Vainokangas and Ovi Trengered. Row 4 will be Juan Costa and Steve Bycroft. Row 5 will see Severi Seppa and John Ledos. Right.
Starting 11th is Yuka Tuolainen. Alongside him in 12th is Peter Kaniski. Paul Williams is in 13th with Timo Karolainen in 14th. Benjamin Tucker in 15th with Brett Weyand in 16th. 17th going to Pablo El Suarez. 18th is Dennis Goodyear. 19th is John Stevens. And rounding it to 20 is the awesome Barry West.
On the 11th row of the grid, we'll see Keith Herner and Miguel Morland. Row 12, we'll see Marcus Softer and Ryan Gonzalez. Ivan Giorgio and Jiajin Pyle will be on row 13. And David Sanchez and Sergio Morales will start on the 14th row of the grid. 28 cars in this short little Snetterton 200 layout. It's going to be tight around here, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely. These drivers are going to have to be very careful into turn 1 and turn 2, especially into that hairpin, because with lots of cars on track, you might have a possible concertina effect or a bit of a bottleneck, rather, just because everyone's braking real early, trying to get into each other.
Absolutely. So a standing start here at Snetterton. As we see Andy T, he's already there waiting on the front row of the grid, and also Oskari Rinna too. You see, listen to what a glorious sight that is. Some classic liveries in there. You see the Ferrari livery as well. Some Marlboro McLaren. If you're a fan of Grand Prix racing in the 1970s, your favourite paint scheme should be there amongst these guys. They line up on the grid. Andy T on pole position with Oskari Rinna right behind in second. The lights rise up. And we are green here at Snetterton for the Lotus 79 Sunday Grand Prix Series. Andy T makes a great launch away, and banging wheels at the back, and Oskari Rinna has to give best there, but can he reclaim second position as they head down into the Justin Wilson hairpin?
Yeah, they're all slowing down for the hairpin. It looks like everyone's been relatively good so far. There's been some close calls, but so far, so kind of good.
Absolutely. So they come onto the Bentley Straight. I think Barry West off there in the background as well. So they come down into Brundle's corner to the left-hander, then the right-hander of Nelson's, down towards the infamous bomb hole corner, down through Corum's, this really, really tight right-hander where you're really leaning on that aerodynamic grip. Of course, the ground effect aerodynamics in this Lotus 79 out of Murray's and then onto the centre straight just as quick as that, and Andy T off to the perfect start.
Yeah, he got a great start off the line, and so did Oskari Rinna, and Timo Vaskalampi just about gained a position off Rinna heading down to turn 1, but it looks like they decided not to make a big deal of it at the moment, as everyone's completed the first lap relatively clean.
Yep, all aboard the T-train, as they say. He's got Oskari Rinna just trying to put a wee bit of pressure on here. 0.8 of a second behind the Briton in the number 4 Renault Elf. I actually had a Skeletric car like that, which didn't really work very well. It was quite an old model, but I did have one nonetheless for that one. But Teemu Vaskalampi in third, and I tell you what, T and Rinna in the second lap, they have absolutely gapped Teemu Vaskalampi.
Yeah, they've pretty much just decided to try and get away as quickly as possible, while everyone else behind is just scrapping amongst themselves. So I was just watching in the background as well. Timo Vaskalampi, I think, was under attack from Itu Vaniakangas.
Yep, as you see, Teemu Vaskalampi there running the Walter Wolf Racing livery. Of course, the team that took over from the original Frank Williams Racing outfit, and then what was born was Williams Grand Prix Engineering after that, which of course went on to so much success. And of course, we've just gone round the Williams corner right now onto the Bentley Straight. Okay, so something has happened to Uwe Trengeride. He's down in 19th spot, Ryan. Have you spotted anything?
Yeah, I was just having a look at my end, and unfortunately my replay doesn't go back as far as or far back as I wanted it to have a look. So it looks like I'm guessing that Owen Trengrid might have had maybe a mistake or maybe spun.
Yeah, it looks like he maybe have had a spin off the start, possibly. Now, pleasingly for Ove is that the car looks immaculate. There's not a mark on that car from what I can see. So hopefully that means he's not had any contacts. Let's look at him off the start. You can see that Visit Spain on the background there. Oh. So what happens to Ove Trengeride then? Coming through Rich's corner, down towards Wilson. Wait on the brakes. Does he lose it on the brakes? He's pretty late on the brakes here. Is he going to ask for the power just that little bit early? Possibly. No. I wonder. Never mind. We will try to endeavour to find out what went on there. Perhaps if anybody in the YouTube chat can let us know, we'd be very much obliged. So, lap 4 of 47. It's fast and furious here. This is like commentating on a race at Knock Hill, Ryan. It's these short, fast, snappy laps.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I'm just watching the top two up at the front. They've just pulled away basically like crazy and just left everyone behind. And Oscari Runner is quickly closed up to the back of Andy T. And Andy T, it was the same at Barcelona. He built up a bit of a train, and again, he's not building up a train, but he's starting to get build up a bit of pressure from Oscari Runner behind.
Yeah, that'll be making Andy T think about it. And oh, we've got another Dougie Beard Cosworth DFV cam. I love these. Riding right on the top of the engine cover here of this machine. 500 horsepower from this engine. So in a decade, they'd got another 100. It was actually developed here at Snetterton. And I remember Graham Hill's early comments about the engine. He said quite simply, he says, "Oh, it's got a bit of squirt, doesn't it?"
Yeah, if you seem to get quite a lot of that impression from drivers after they've tested it out, even like a new engine or even new car. I remember Nigel Mansell in 1985, I believe it was, when they were testing some suspension out. He said he was pretty happy, and they gave him a bit of a sweat as the battle for P5 is going on at the moment between Gerrit Fuchs and Juan Costa, and also Severi Seppa.
Some big names around here. This is what the Lotus 79 series is all about now. Gernot Fritsch has got big company here from Juan Costa. Down they go into Brundles and then through Nelson's. So we're riding on board with Juan Costa now. Boasting that, I like that, the James Hunt helmet. I've actually got a pair of socks that in that helmet design, which I'm very proud of.
Yeah, I used to have a pair as well ages ago, but yeah, I seem to have lost them. But as we start riding on board with this fantastic angle on board with Juan Costa, and it looks like Ross has got the run, and Fritz as they head down to turn 1. Can he get the move done? He's up the inside. Well, Fritz will leave just enough room, and I thought Fritz was going to run wide there.
He was certainly hanging it loose, wasn't he? That's for sure. But it looks like Juan Costa's going to take this. He does. Gernot Fritsch gives him the room. So they cut back towards Williams' corner. And then on to the Bentley Straight. So back towards the lead then. Andy T has got big company here from Oscari Rinne. Rinne really filling the mirrors of that Elf Renault liveried machine there of Andy T. Or the T-Train, as he's sometimes referred to as. And I asked him a couple of weeks ago what his favourite Thomas the Tank Engine character was, and he said he would be the Fat Controller.
Oh, that made me chuckle. Yeah, I like that. But it looks like Runner's got the run on T as they head down to turn 1, and don't think Runner's close enough as they head down to turn 1, and can he get a run head down to the hairpin? I don't think so.
Is that an Andre Lotterer replica helmet? That is very choice. I think it is. I think that is an Oscari Rinne is wearing. I'm just looking at it in the mirror there. I'm pretty sure that's an Andre Lotterer replica. Very, very cool indeed. You do not see many of them out on track. Very nice. You see the Audi logo on it there as well. He's a Porsche man now. But Oskari Rinne. That helmet's bringing him good fortune. He's driving like Andre Lotterer, and he's putting big pressure on here as they go through the bomb hole. Now, the bomb hole is a really difficult corner in these Lotus 79s, because if you just disrupt the ground effect aerodynamics, all of a sudden that magic carpet effect, the magic carpet is pulled from underneath you.
Yeah, absolutely is, and the runner got a great run in the exit of the final corner again, but it's just a matter of can he get close in the slipstream to Andy T to try and make a move into turn one. And I think Andy T, I've got a feeling that he might be carrying a little bit, or he might be using a little bit more lower downforce for the straights just to try and keep ahead, because in the corners he's just getting kind of mugged in a way.
Now that is an interesting one. Of course, it's a fairly decent drag down the centre straight. And then, of course, a pretty long drag down towards Brundles underneath the bridge. So Andy T has maybe played a blinder here, that he's maybe going to be able, he knows he's just got to try and hang on in the twisty stuff, noting that he's got a bit of a dragster on the straights. That's well spotted, Ryan.
Yeah, as Oskari Rinne is just absolutely wringing the neck out of this car as well. And it seems to be a long right-hander before the final couple of corners. It just seems to be able to close right up, especially on the braking. And yeah, like you see there, he's closed right up, but on the exit, he can't really do anything, because Andy T is just doing a great defensive job at the moment.
Yeah, he is. He's doing a great job, but this is going to be an issue throughout the race. This is now Sanchez, I think, in the 25 car, coming up to be lapped, of course, with brilliant respect there from Sanchez, getting well out the way. Andy T and Oskari Rinne get on with it without any problems at all. Now, I tell you what, these guys are operating on a seriously high level, Ryan, because Timo Vascalampi, he is a seriously quick driver, one of the very fastest anywhere on the iRacing service, and he's already 5.5 seconds behind these guys. It just shows you just how quick T and Rinne are going. But here goes Eto Vainokangas to try and stick it up the inside of Vascalampi. Vascalampi has none of it, just shuts the door gently in his face, but firmly, saying, no you don't, not there anyway, as they come through Corums, the endless right-hander. It just seems to go on forever here. Turning right, and then, quick, got to turn left at Murray's and then back onto the centre straight.
Yeah, absolutely. That left-hander, basically you're turning for ages on that long right-hander, and then all of a sudden that final part, the left-hander slaps you right in the face that you've not got time to think about it. But yeah, the two fans are going at it, and they're not backing off by any means.
They certainly are not. Yeah, this is maximum attack all the way. 11 laps down, so we're just coming up towards 1/4 distance. And Rinne's going to have a look. No, he doesn't. Oh my word, that was a big look in the mirror there. That's the closest we've seen Rinne. And Andy T will be thinking, oh, dearie me, that was a close one. And so what can Oskari Rinne do? Now, we have seen drivers effectively try to slip up the inside at Murray's, but normally it ends up in tears usually.
Absolutely. As Rinne's closer than he has been before, and he's got the run, he's getting close in the slipstream. He's going to try, actually he's not going to be able to make a move, but he's so close. Can he try and get I don't know if he can make a move into the hairpin, but he's getting really close now. And Oskari Rinne is showing a lot of, as the fans would say, sisu, which I believe in Finnish means courage.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're looking back at the number 3 of Oskari Rinne, and he is just closing in the draft. Goes to the inside, and he's going to look now. Oh, Andy T just late enough on the brakes, and oh God, he's hanging on for dear life here. Is Andy T, and Oskari Rinne is all over the gearbox. Now, this is the thing though, if Oskari Rinne can get by, Andy T has to snap straight back. He has to retaliate immediately if he can, because if he allows Oskari Rinne to get some clean air, he'll be gone.
Absolutely, and Rinne got a bad exit at the time, but so did Andy T, so both of them are kind of compromised heading down to turn one again. And this is absolutely fantastic racing between these two guys as well. They've pretty much left the rest of the field behind, and I don't like to say it or sound cliche, but they're putting on a bit of a Mercedes-esque kind of dominance at the moment, you could say.
Oh, this is exciting.
Absolutely, as they head down right.
Got the distinction there, Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
As runner closes up on the braking again, and it just seems to be this section of the track here. The runner seems to be it's Andy T on the grass.
Woo-hoo. Full commitment there from Andy T. Hangs onto it just about. And do you think he's trying, Ryan? It certainly looks like it.
Yeah, he's certainly trying for sure. He's he's wringing the neck out of that car, and Andy T, he's just I'm guessing anyway, he'll probably be getting a bit of a sweat on.
Well, yes, I would think so, that these guys are driving at such a high level. Look at Timo Vascalampi now 9 seconds behind these guys. Like you say, very much dominant, but there's... Well, let's see, can Rinna make a look here? No, he's not quite close enough, so let's have a quick look back to the mid-pack here. Gernot Fritzsche in 5th with Juan Costa behind with the full James Hunt specification. He's got the Marlborough McLaren livery and, of course, the James Hunt helmet there as well. I wonder if he's got the... Oh, Vascalampi! Oh, Vascalampi trying to defend from Eno Vainakangas. If he lets him go, he could be gone side by side through Corums. This always ends well, not. And Vascalampi just gets into the critical point on the brakes, parks it on the apex and gets a good exit too as well, and drags away from Vainakangas. And of course, all that bickering between Vascalampi and Vainakangas has allowed Fritzsche and Costa to catch up as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This train is starting to build up now, and I'm surprised that never ended up in contact between Vascalampi and Vainakangas. But credit to those guys, the lefties are just enough room as they head into the hairpin now, and this train is getting bigger and bigger.
Yep, it absolutely is. Yep, they're into the... Look at this big draft train now, going behind Timo Vascalampi down towards Brundles once more underneath the bridge. Always a hot spot for action. We saw in the British Touring Car Championship last year a big pile-up with Ash Sutton and Jason Plato, and our man Rory Butcher from Scotland went on to take the win, and that was I quite enjoyed that one, I have to say, Ryan.
Yeah, I did as well. I remember that race being a bit chaotic, but that's the BTCC in general. Just every track and every race, there's always mayhem going on. But that's why that series is so good. As this train comes across the line now behind Vascalampi, and Vascalampi, I think he might be similar to Andy T. He might be carrying a little bit lower downforce as well.
Yeah, maybe. Of course, Vascalampi doesn't mind having the car moving underneath him a little bit more, which of course will be very much a symptom of running a lower downforce, but just having that slight edge in straight line speed is critical, because this is one of the major opportunities. But Vainakangas has got the draft. Vascalampi swoops around to defend his line. Brilliant racecraft there from Vascalampi, and Vainakangas still can't make that move stick. Meanwhile, there's Gernot Fritzsche in that orange and white car with Juan Costa right behind as well. So, Vascalampi now 10 seconds behind our top two, but he is hanging on to that final spot in the podium as things stand.
Doing a great defensive job as well, holding on to that podium position, and Ito Vainakangas as well. He's doing a good job as well. He's not making any silly lunges or being desperate. He's just being sensible. As someone was got sideways in the back room there, that looked like it was Whammy Costa who clipped the grass ever so slightly.
Yeah, these guys are pushing hard as they go on to the Bentley Straight. Of course, the Bentley Speed 8 Le Mans car, the LMP car from the early 2000s, was actually, they did a lot of testing here at Snetterton, and also the Williams BMW V12 LMR Le Mans winner as well also was tested here at Snetterton.
Yeah, that BMW car is one of my favourite Le Mans winning cars, and it's just such a great sound as well, and a nice, simple but awesome livery. And the Bentley Speed 8, I remember that car winning Le Mans in 2003, and again, simple but awesome.
Yep, it certainly is. It was a beautiful car, and certainly very, very quick. It also was quick. Timo Vascalampi really throwing it there into Rich's corner, and this is the critical point here, getting a good exit out of Justin Wilson, hairpin, a little bit of a jink through Williams, and then onto the Bentley straight, and this is going to have issues. We've got lap traffic up ahead. This is definitely going to cause a problem as they come down towards Brundles. It's caught Vascalampi's attention, and Vino Kangas is going to go for it. We've got a car off. That's Rinna off, and T's off as well. Oh my word, what's happened there? They stream by. Oskari Rinna is losing places. Handover fest. Andy T's got going again, but what on earth has happened there?
Yeah, I think we're just about to look at a replay now, and look at this line of cars as well as the replay is up now, and
T gets. Oh, wow. Let's get a look in the chopper. Riding on board in Dougie Beard's helicopter. Here we go then. Let's see what happened. I think Rinna gave him a tap on the brakes. Yes, quite a big one too. So Rinna stops, and I tell you what, great respect there. Rinna actually stops to let Andy T get back going again. Now, so Oskari Rinna in the number 3 car, he is back in 6th spot. Now, there isn't any visible damage there, Ryan, but there's bound to be something on that car.
Yeah, maybe some slight aero damage, but nothing major by the looks of it. But Andy T is still in the lead.
Yep, and he's got all that to do again. Now, does Andy T have damage? Of course, the rear of the car is so important to the aerodynamics. You've got the wing and obviously the ground at the bottom of the ground effect as well. So you can see the tunnels there on the back of the car. So this is an interesting one. Timo Vascalampi now, from what looked like he was going to be perhaps losing his space to Vino Kangas, he actually got a bit of a get out of jail free card there, and all of a sudden he's thinking, tell you what, the wind's on here, and that could just change his mindset completely. If he can hang on to the back of Andy T, he's in the running for this race win.
Absolutely, and they just look at the train now. This train for this lead battle, Andy T's got a bit of a gap, but Timo Vascalampi, I think Timo Vascalampi might be helping Andy T with a bit of gap as well, because Vascalampi on the straights, he can stay ahead, but in the corners it just seems to be he's been caught up slightly, and just it's caused a bit of a train behind him.
Okay, let's have a look at the number 8 of Ove Tringerud in this wonderfully simple Honda Grand Prix livery. So he's now starting to recover from that earlier mistake. He dropped back to 19th spot early on, Ryan, but making his way back up through the field, and a 1 minute 0.4, pretty decent pace. That's not a million miles off the leader's pace.
Yeah, he's always been a quick driver with Ove, and he's just seems to be anything he jumps into. He's always been quick. We know how much he likes his car to move around, a bit like the Finns do as well. So he's doing a good job at the moment, recovering well up into 11th place as he comes up across the start-finish line.
Yep, so let's look at the battle for P4 then, and Gernot Fritzsche moved up a spot, profited from that little skirmish between Rinna and T, but now he has Oskari Rinna behind, and you've got to think Oskari Rinna is kicking himself after that mistake, because he did have the pace. Fritzsche goes to the defensive, gets on. Look at this, Oskari Rinna on the cutback through the bomb hole. They give each other room, but will Fritzsche be able to hang it around the outside at Coram? It's certainly possible. Oh no, Rinna gets it sealed up just in the nick of time. Through Murray's they go, and onto the Ayrton Senna straight once again. Big oversteer there. Fantastic stuff from Oskari Rinna. He's back up to 4th.
Yeah, Oskari Rinna is on the mission now, and I think he, like you say, he might be frustrated after that, and back up at the 4th place now. And not too far ahead of Rinna. We've got the battle for 2nd and 3rd place going on, so don't rule Rinna out of recovering and finishing back on the podium. But this race is absolutely crazy.
This is fantastic. Yep, this is what the Lotus 79 series is all about. Some of the best drivers anywhere in sim racing in this incredible Grand Prix machine, the Lotus 79. Ground effect, aerodynamics, naturally aspirated Cosworth DFV engine is, look at that. That is Seppa now starting to have a look at Gernot Fritzsche there. So Severi Seppa on the charge as well in 7th spot right now. Kwame Costa definitely benefited from that early incident as well, that incident a couple of laps ago as well. He's up to 5th spot as well. But Andy T just stretching the gap from Timo Vascalampi ever so slightly. And like you alluded to earlier, Ryan, Timo Vascalampi could be doing Andy T a big favour here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just holding everyone up at the moment, and he's just watching like when you watch a big chain. For some reason, I always get reminded of Jarno Trulli. He was good in qualifying, but in the race, he just caused a bit of a bottleneck behind him.
Well, that's. I think being compared to Jarno Trulli would be good enough for anyone. I think that would. He had a great choice in headbands, didn't he? I seem to remember.
Or the boy band headbands, I used to call them.
I always thought the free climber headbands as well, to keep that his locks of long Italian hair out of his eyes. He said, "Oh, we got a spinner." That's one of the lap traps. Oh, but managed to just keep out the way. I think everybody gets through cleanly. Yes, they do, thankfully. So Timo Vascalampi avoids any problem. That was Miguel Morland who gets going, and he's got rear aero damage. He had that before that spin, so perhaps his car not quite handling how he would like it.
Andy T has managed to increase that gap to about 2.7 seconds, and he's pretty much left these guys behind him battling for second and third.
Oh, Vascalampi!
Vascalampi's off!
Oh dear! Oh, he'd been under pressure, so that could be critical to the ultimate outcome of this race. Let's see what happens to Vascalampi. A rare mistake from him. Oh, he gets a touch! He gets a touch around from Vino Kangas. Oh, controversial. Oh my word, look at this. Wait for it. Here it goes. Biff. There he goes. Round it goes. Oh, dearie me. It wasn't a very big touch, but it was enough to unsettle the rear of Vascalampi's Lotus.
And that's the risk you always get with big trains as well. Everyone just bunches up, and it causes a bit of a bottleneck or concertina effect rather, and you get incidents like that. But thankfully, Vascalampi is still able to keep going. But I don't think he'll be happy.
No, he won't. And straight away, look at this. Oskari Rinne is now up into second spot, so he's got some clean air now. 3.7 seconds up to Andy T. And judging by before they had their incident together at Brundle's a number of laps ago, it looked like Oskari Rinne was the man with the pace in clean air anyway, but he couldn't quite make the move stick on Andy T. So 3.8 seconds is the gap, 22 laps to go, so plenty of time for Oskari Rinne. This is game on once again, Ryan.
Yep, absolutely. As Andy T's just being held up slightly by a back marker heading into the final corner, and I think T should be able to get by, but yeah, I agree. Oskari Rinne, judging by the pace he was showing in the early stages of the race and the pressure he's putting on Andy T, I think we've still got some time left remaining, like you say, so I think it's not, don't rule him out of closing that gap down.
Definitely not. No, we'll keep a close eye on the gap between Andy T and Oskari Rinne. Now, their fastest lap of the race for Andy T is a 59.760. Oskari Rinne's the fastest of anyone, a 59.556. So an ultimate pace, Oskari Rinne just has the edge. But he's got to catch up to Andy T, which is one thing. But then he's got to try and re-engage to try and make that move stick. I think we're heading for it. Oh, who's that off? Who is that? I think it's a lapper off. Oh. Not sure who that was. Not to worry. Thankfully, the leaders get through cleanly, and we're not going to be robbed of what is certainly building towards what could be an absolute grandstand finish here at Snetterton.
Yeah, absolutely. And this race is just I don't know how to describe it. It's been chaotic anyway, but there's been some hectic moments, and it's thrown a works into this race.
It really has. Yep, it absolutely has. And Oskari, it's actually good to see that both Oskari Rinne and Andy T appear not to be hampered too much. The last lap, they both lapped under the magic minute. So they're definitely, if there is damage, it's incredibly minor, and it's not really causing too much of an issue. But I tell you what will cause an issue is this lap traffic here for Oskari Rinne just at the wrong moment, and that's going to hold him up that extra couple of tenths. And look at that, straight away sheds nearly a second to Andy T.
Yeah, Rinne is just absolutely wringing the neck, and he's absolutely on it and just trying to close that gap down as quickly as possible. But that sector that just went through now is when you're a lap car, it's kind of one of those sectors or sections of track that you can't really do anything. It's rather do you go off into the grass and risk spinning, or do you just stick to the line and try and get out of the way as quickly as possible and safely as possible?
Yeah, that's the tricky part of managing the traffic, especially in this short, quick layout. As you say, Etuvai Nakangas and Wami Costa now battling over the podium spots. And we've got a fail up there at the Justin Wilson hairpin. I think Gernot Fritzscher is involved in that. Severi Seppa also. That's also some little bit of problem with lap traffic there. Let's have a look at it then. So we're looking at Seppa in the number 5. Fritzscher getting really held up. Seppa comes on the scene very quickly. Oh, and I don't think Fritzscher sees him. Fritzscher actually has to jam on the brakes. I think actually avoids contact. So great presence of mind there from the veteran Gernot Fritzscher.
Yeah, absolutely. That parking was parking you could say was pretty much perfect and no contact, and that was it's like basically parking that you'd see in Tesco car park.
Yeah, it was certainly different presence of mind than those in the Tesco car park, that's for sure. So you see, battle for 15th place here. Look at this. It does not get any easier down the field. Goodyear, Wayand, Suarez and Bycroft all battling over this 15th spot. They're all involved in this one here. See Goodyear come through. There goes Wayand, Suarez and Bycroft. Now, does Bycroft, is that a Camel sponsorship? I think it is, yes, which is a little bit more modern Lotus livery as well, as we ride on board. And this is a great breathe in and close your eyes and hope for the best there going round Riches. It's such a fast corner, and then you've got to try and desperately haul the car to a stop into Wilson's through Williams, and then hard on the power down the Bentley Straight.
Yep, and I have to say that the livery Bycroft is running. It looks so nice. I've always been a fan of the camel liveries. Is that a camel livery? I'm not sure.
Oh no, it's not. It's the same shade of yellow. It's not. It's an ATS livery. Well, there we go then. That's a new one. That's one I have to say I am not familiar with, Ryan. So that's there you go. Every day's a school day. Yeah,
absolutely. The ATS liveries I was always a fan of as well. It's cool as we've gone back up to the front and looking at a leader, Andy T, and Oscari Rinna has not been able to close that gap down as quickly as he wanted to. As we've got about, we're coming to the closing stages of this race, and Andy T is just pretty much in command at the moment.
Yeah, it's got about 17 minutes to carry on. That will be a long 17 minutes. You can see that there. Rinna starting to take a little bit of pace out, and then that lap 27, that was the main issue. That was when Rinna got really mired at just the wrong point at Brundle's and Nelson's with lap traffic. So Andy T's got to keep his head down here. 17 laps. There is more than enough time for Rinna. You'd only need to take a couple of tenths per lap and he would be right back on the case of Andy T. So this is far from done. And now look at this. Andy T is going to have some traffic problems of his own.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy T's just been doing a good, after that incident earlier on, he's just been doing a good job of getting through the traffic and he's not been in a rush to get by. He's just been patient and just getting by when it's safe to do so. As again, he's been held up slightly, but nothing major heading into the final corner. And Andy T is just, like you say, just pretty much in command of his race at the moment. But Oscari Rinna has actually got a gap down to about 2.5 seconds.
Yep, Oscari Rinna he took 3 tenths out on the last lap. How many does he get on this time as we get Andy T over the line? A 1:03 for Andy T there. That is a disaster for him. Oscari Rinna, what does he do? Waiting for his lap time to come through. I think he's in the 59s. Yep, he's in the 59s again, 59.5. So yeah, all of a sudden, the race has flipped back on its head again. And Oscari Rinna, the traffic gives and it takes away, and very much it played against Andy T there. And definitely in the favour of Oscari Rinna. But here we go, coming into this kind of one-line section. Oscari Rinna gets by without too much fuss, and he is now right on the case of Andy T.
Yeah, he's pushing that car like crazy, and he can see Andy T up ahead, just about in the same view as him, and he's just basically pushing as much as possible, trying to close that gap down. As it looks like E2 and Kwame Costa are going at it as well.
Yep, absolutely. Eto Vainakangas holding on to the last spot on the podium right now, and Juan Costa will want that for his own. So it's Ferrari versus McLaren. Oh, this is like Hunt v Lauda in 1976, isn't it? This is nostalgia overload here, Ryan.
Oh, it takes me back, and yeah, watching Hunt and Lauda going at it that season. I wasn't around at the time, but from videos I'd watched on YouTube, it was fantastic to watch. And yeah, watching these two liveries on track battling away with each other, it's a bit of a nostalgia effect.
Absolutely, it is indeed. 14 laps to go then here at Snetterton. Oh, so Andy T actually 0.2 of a second quicker than Rinne last time around, so it goes back once more again. So wherever Andy T can get that clear air, he's able to match the pace and sometimes eclipse the pace of Ascari Rinne. It's been but just as I say that, Ascari Rinne raises the bar once more, 59.484, and well, Andy T a 59.8. So all of a sudden it changes again. It's like an accordion. If they were an accordion, Ascari Rinne and Andy T, they would be playing quite a nice tune right now, Ryan.
Yeah, they would, and the gap, it's a bit like a seesaw. Like sometimes it'll go up and sometimes it'll go down. So these guys are cruising each other, you could say.
They are indeed. But this is a brilliant battle emerging here between Vaino Kangas and Costa for the last spot on the podium. And who knows, if T and Rinne came together again, this could be the battle for the win. But ifs, buts and maybes. 13 laps to go. It's just those laps are just ticking off so quickly. Through Murray as they go then, named after the great Murray Walker, who started commentating in 1948 and retired in 2001 in the most exceptional career in broadcasting, full stop, not just in Formula One.
Yeah, he's probably one of the best commentators. I remember listening to him on the BTCC commentary as well, and they always done a good job of that. Actually, he's done a good job of anything that he's done. Just he's one of the best, or he was one of the best around.
He is the greatest of all time, and proves that you don't need to be immaculately perfect. A little innocent mistake here and there actually adds to the broadcast sometimes, as we're all human. So Juan Costa, we're right on board with him. We're on the shoulder cam here. We're now, this is of course you always think about the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other. I feel like we're on the devil's shoulder. We're going, go on, Juan, go for it, just send it, have a go, come on. And on the other side's going, no, be sensible.
Yep, absolutely. As Andy T this time around has got the fastest lap of the race, a 59.453. So yeah, him and Runner are absolutely trading lap times.
They are, absolutely. And of course, if they trade back and forth, that is going to keep Andy T in the driving seat for this victory. He has actually led from the start, from pole position, despite a little excursion into the grass, thanks to a little bit of a bump from Ascari Rinne. But this has been a superb drive from Andy T so far, and it's just coming up to 10 to go. And it's, well, if Rinne wants to have an impression on this win, he's got to start putting in those quick lap times.
He has, as we're looking back at the battle for third place between Vania Kangas and Costa. And Juan Costa can't really seem to do anything about Vania Kangas at the moment as they head down the home straight rather. And Costa's getting closer ever so slightly. And again, Ascari Rinne with another fastest lap, a 59.447.
Yep, 0.2 of a second quicker than Andy T. He's got to keep doing those times. He's got to keep taking 2, possibly even 0.3 of a second per lap to try and catch up with Andy T there. So let's see if Juan Costa is going to have a little bit of a look here. Oh, sells the dummy. Oh, I thought he was going to go for that one, right?
Yeah, I won't deny I had a bit of a heart and mouth moment there just watching Costa, and it would have been a bit of a sin, put it that way, if he went for it.
Would have been. So let's have a look at the battle for 11th spot with Ovi Trenkeride there, who's made a great recovery from his earlier incident, and he's got Peter Konecki and Timo Karalainen right behind him as Oskari Rinne puts in another 59.4. Incredible pace, and oh, big oversteer there from Peter Konecki there, the man from Illinois. Oh, Konezi, sorry, my apologies. So, with that gap at the front, it's now down to just 1.5 seconds with 10 laps to go. Rinne is in the groove.
Yeah, absolutely. Rinne has just basically stepped it up a gear, and he's just given it everything, closed the gap down to about... Oh, someone's off in the background.
Yep, I got the same jump there. A yellow car going off into the grass. That could have been Andy T, but it wasn't. He's made his way through cleanly, just clipping the little bollard there on the way through. So let's see what happens here in the battle here for 11th spot. Oh, Karalainen, oof, just loses it on the way into Riches. That's a very, very fast turn-in point there. Thankfully keeps it out the barrier and keeps it out of the way of his fellow competitors as well. But this is now critical, Ryan, because Oskari Rinne, he certainly will be able to, obviously he's right there, he can see Andy T, but another couple of tenths here or there and he'll be able to get the draft, and that's the critical point. When he gets under a second, he'll start to pick up little pieces of draft effect.
Yeah, absolutely. And Andy T just got slightly sideways and just putting the power down, and he's absolutely pushing. But also this man we're riding on board, Oskari Rinne, is giving it everything as well, but he's being held up. As a car who joins the track there just about. He's been held up by a back marker though, and I don't think he'll be very happy with it.
No, he will not. So the gap now 1 second. So Oskari Rinne really starting to reel in Andy T now, and Andy T will be getting all of that live timing information. He will have that on his screen, and he'll be thinking, oh, just go away, leave me alone, please, as they come on to the Bentley Straight once more. And I think Oskari Rinne will just be grabbing on to the very earliest bits of aerodynamic slipstream benefit now. And if tell you what, we've got a bit of traffic coming up in the next sector or so. Andy T will hope he doesn't get them at the wrong moment, because that will then put Rinne right on top of him. Absolutely,
and yeah, you can see, his runner gets, he's just, like I say, he's just wringing the neck, and he's got slightly sideways. Is riding on board the runner now, and look at the camera angle, that's fantastic. And there you see in the same view as him now is Andy T, and I think Andy T will be starting to feel the pressure again.
Most definitely, yeah. It's down to 0.7 of a second now. 7 laps to go here in what has been a classic at Snetterton. 59.2 for Oskari Rinne. That is exceptional pace. And Andy T, I think he's just going to get past this lap traffic in just the right moment, and he might even be able to fit them in between himself and Oskari Rinne, but no, I don't think he's going to make it in time. Oh no, this is a disaster for Andy T. Right at the wrong moment into Nelson's, and look at that, Rinne's straight on his gearbox now. Rinne could make a move here, possibly. This is a disaster. Andy T will be on the radio going, please get out of the way. But will they come around Corums? Is Rinne going to try and pick Andy T's pocket as they come into the final corner now? It'll be 6 laps to go at the stripe. Little bit of a bobble for T, and that's going to kill his run. Does he get defensive? He goes in to try and get the draft from the back marker. He'll need to be careful not to get boxed in, but he's just, I think, going to defend his line now from Oskari Rinne. But what a recovery this drive this has been from the number 3 Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, fantastic. And
no!
As T gets hit, he gets held up slightly by a back marker, and that gives Rinne the chance to get a run on T. If I was T, you go inside and be defensive. You don't do. I don't know why T's not went defensive, but there we go.
Switchback. There you go. Switchback that's very, very clever racecraft there from Andy T. He knew that he would get the switchback there for Nelson's, and now more lap traffic, and this is just not what Andy T needs. There goes Rinne. He's going to hang it around the outside. This is a real problem for Andy T. Oh my word, that was close. Great stuff from both guys there, avoiding the back marker, who finally pulls over, and Andy T is hanging on to this victory so far by the skin of his teeth. Wow, what motor racing this has been.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Andy T's got some slight rear wing damage because I think Runner might have just tagged him slightly into the final corner. And but I thought at that marker, I thought T and Runner was going to go like around both sides and maybe do a bit of a Ricardo Zonta-esque move that happened at Spa in 2000.
Oh, it might have been. Oh, yeah, you're well spotted there with the rear aero damage. Look at that, Andy T's rear wing. Now, that might be a little bit of a oh no, that's new damage. It might have been exacerbated by the earlier incident, but is that going to make the difference now? Or Rinna, he could have front wing damage because, of course, he was likely the culprit of both of those bits of contact to Andy T. 4 to go here at Snetterton, 4 very short laps. Wow, what a motor race this has been. But Andy T has defended this lead so well. Oskari Rinna has just got the edge on 1 lap pace, but Andy T has had the racecraft.
Absolutely, and there's been some close calls. There's been some close calls with back markers, but luckily both of these guys have managed to keep out of trouble. And I'm about to ref just calling this.
Absolutely, yeah, I'm going to go and have a lie down after this one. So they come through Nelson's once more through the bomb hole. And, well, where is Rinna going to make his move? You know he is going to make one, but where? It's so tricky to decide where's the right moment. And, of course, we saw Andy T able to rebuff the move into Brundle's, that left-right section there. So it looks like I think we've had a problem for Gernot Fritzsche, who's dropped down the order. So Oskari Rinna now a 59.006. Oh, what if we saw a 58, Ryan? That would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've got a replay of Gernot Fritzsche now, and he just ran wide at the hairpin on the grass, so he might have. Whoa!
Oh dear. That's one of the cars a lap down, just in the way there, and that was unfortunately Gernot Fritzsche. Race over for him, so he's coming along, minding his own business. Through he goes, through Riches as normal, smooth as you like, and oh dear, oh my word, that's a scary one. But absolutely nothing Gernot Fritzsche could have done about that.
Yeah, absolutely not. It was just unfortunate. But back up at the front, looking at the battle for the race one between T and Rinna, and Rinna has actually not been able to get close enough to try and make a move on T. So I don't know. Maybe Rinna's just looking after his tyres, maybe trying a last lap attack.
Oh, he's winding it up. Be sure of that. He is winding it up. Whatever that move is, he's getting it ready. He's warming it up. He's, if it were a cricket ball, he'd be shining it on his whites right now, ready for a Googler. So down they go, down the Bentley straight. Rinna right in the draft, but Andy T, I think, has just got the edge in the straight line, and I think that has been the key to Andy T's race. Is just having that slightly quicker car in a straight line, running a slightly lower aero setup. Rinna is unbelievable through the corners, maybe running a little bit more downforce. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle and a wobble there from Rinna, and these guys, they are playing for keeps as they take the white flag. Last lap, here we go.
Absolutely, as they're heading down to turn 1 now, and Rinna is getting closer and closer heading into turn 1. And he might try and make a move up to the hairpin. He's getting closer and closer. He shows his nose, just shows he's there. And Rinna again with a 59 points. Oh, so he gets close to making contact. T, sorry. And T, I don't know if he maybe parked on the apex there, just to try and slow Rinna down.
Possibly. Well, whatever the reason, Oskari Rinna, that could have cost him the win, because he had to check up big time there, and that killed his exit out of Williams onto the Bentley straight. And Andy T, that has given him the critical bit of protection, but there is a lap car up here. Is it going to play a factor? Let's hope not. That would be such a pity if it came down to that. Round Coram they go, down towards Murray's. It looks like Andy T is just going to hang on to this. Andy T, an absolute champion level drive. He is the man with the Midas touch. Andy T is your winner here at Snetterton Snetterton in an absolutely exceptional motor race. And Eitovino Kangas now trying to hang on from Juan Costa, and he does. He takes the final spot on the podium. Wow. Ryan Walker, what a motor race. And Andy T, what a defensive drive there to keep Oskari Rinna at bay.
Yeah, it was a fantastic drive by T, and the only way I can sum up that race was holy cow.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a very short break here on the Global SimRacing Channel. We will be right back with official results and driver interviews. Do not go anywhere. Well, welcome back to Snetterton, where we have been treated to a motor race for the ages there. Andy T hanging on to victory from Oskari Rinna, who was absolutely on a charge and scored the fastest lap of the race. Eitovino Kangas also holding on another brilliant defensive drive from him to hold off Juan Costa for the last spot on the podium. Timo Vaskilampi was 5th with Sveri Seppa 6th. John Nadeau is quietly, but finishes in 7th with Jukka Tolinen in 8th, Paul Williams 9th, and Peter Kadetsky in 10th.
Timo Karolainen finishing in 11th with Steve Bycroft in 12th. 13th went to Benjamin Tucker with Brett Wyand in 14th. Ovi Trengrade in 15th. 16th, Pablo Suarez with 17th going to John Stevens. 18th is Keith Herner, and 19th going to Ivan De Jojo, and 20th going to Ryan Gonzalez.
In 21st position was Marcus Sofser with Gernot Frisch 22nd, 4 laps down after being taken out of the race late on. Sergio Morales was 23rd with Barry West 24th. Daniel Goodger scored 25th, and Miguel Morland, Tion Pelli, and David Sanchez rounding out our 28 runners. But we have our winner in the commentary box right now, Andy T, the T Train. Wow, what a drive, sir. How do you feel?
That was horrifying, dudes. Absolutely horrifying. Oh, my days.
Oh, I take it you're going to be having nightmares about what the back of a Lotus 79 looks like, because the traffic there, there's so many sections of the circuit where it's all one line. How did you find that?
Well, there's not a lot you can do. Like, we can try our very best to educate the community so they know how to behave as a lapped car. And most drivers are absolutely fine. But if you're new to the car and you're feeling a little unsteady and you see someone flying at you, your brain stops working and there's no instincts and people do silly stuff. I could have sworn there, sorry.
No, I totally understand now. Tell us about, where would, obviously Oskari and yourself are so closely matched on pace. Where were the differences? It seemed to us in the booth that you had a wee bit of an edge on the straight and Oskari in the corners. Would that be accurate?
Going to bet if I got my hands on his setup, he's running front wicker and I'm not. So his car is a little more unstable on turning. but he'll get better turning than me, and it'll add maybe a bit of drag. Just a guess, but I think that's what the case was. And I hate driving with front wicker. Front wicker upsets me so much. The car just will not behave.
I see. The little nuances of a Grand Prix machine. They are a fickle mistress, aren't they? Well, Andy, as our winner today in what was an exceptional motor race, who would you like to shout out to live here on GSRC?
All the drivers, as usual, you guys, and just a shout out to anyone who wants to try this car. Please come and join the Discord. Don't be intimidated. Ask for help. We will help you.
Absolutely, indeed. Those ground effect aerodynamics, it's like driving a slot car. Nice and no problem at all. Brilliant stuff. So we're going to get our runner-up here as well, Oskari Rinna, who's with Ryan Walker.
Yeah, Oskari finishing in second place after a absolutely fantastic race with Andy T and giving us a great spectacle. And Oskari, that race seemed to produce a lot of mayhem, but that battle with you and Andy was just great stuff.
Yeah, it was great, but still disappointed. More about the traffic, I think. It was horrible.
Yeah, I mean, every time you and Andy was lapping traffic, it just seemed to never stop. And unfortunately, you and Andy were caught up in an incident in the early stages, but after you got back through the field, you managed to close the gap back down to him, and I'm guessing that you were carrying a little bit more downforce, I guess.
Yeah, I think I was. I was just so angry after the contact with Andy because I thought we had a really good battle going on there, and then just some lap car decides to ruin it. I mean, yeah, it's my fault, but who breaks so early there? But yeah, I was just so focused after that and trying to catch up, and yeah, I guess I don't know.
Yeah, you managed. You were putting down some great laps. I mean, one lap, Andy would have the quickest lap, and then you would have the quickest lap the next lap. It was just the swings and roundabouts. But yeah, overall at Snetterton, did you think the car and track combination was good?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, it grew on me during this week. I mean, yeah, it's fine, but just traffic plays such a huge part here, and it absolutely destroyed my mood in this race because it was a great battle. But what can you do?
Indeed, and looking ahead to Silverstone next week, do you expect the same again to be for the field to be real close? Do you think it'll be a lot easier with regards to lap and traffic?
Yeah, unfortunately it's going to be a drop week for me, so I will be back in Monza.
Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing you at Monza, Oskari. And before we let you go, anyone that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'll show that to Andy because he took it very nicely after I hit him, and yeah, thanks to him, and thanks to you guys. Bye.
As that was Oskari Rinna finishing in second place, joining us in the booth, and I believe up next, Peter, you've got another Finnish driver that finished in fifth place, Timo Vaskalampi, with you.
Indeed, Timo Vaskalampi, welcome to the GSRC commentary box. How did you find that race out there today?
It was interesting. I just decided to jump in for the race like 15 minutes before it started. I didn't plan on doing any more Lotus 79 races this season, but I like this track somehow. This doesn't seem to be a very popular track, but I like it. And I knew I don't have pace here, and very little driving done, no setup work done. But so it was surprising actually to be that high.
And of course, you got a lot of experience with this Lotus 79 car, and of course, it's Snetterton. It's its home track, of course. Did you have any old setups in your book that you could throw at the car with the last minute decision to take the race?
I did some laps last Monday in hosted session, and I made a setup there, so I used that, but it was not very tuned. It was okay, but it could have been better. Also, driving could have been better. I noticed I drive turn 2 and 3 somehow wrong. I lost time to everyone there, and I wasn't very brave. brave in some corners. I didn't trust my driving.
Well, if that's you, not being brave, Teemu, I'd love to see when you are brave. Brilliant drive indeed, and hopefully we'll see you again sometime soon in the Lotus 79 series. Thanks for coming to chat to us.
Yeah, bye.
So that is all we have time for today on the Global Sim Racing Channel, and what has been an exceptional race here at Snetterton. A huge thank you goes to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcasts, and you can see them listed here on your screen. A big thank you also to the wonderful June Lalonde, who provides all of our great music. See the screen of how you can get some of her great work on Bandcamp. A big thank you to the other half of Double Scotch, Ryan Walker, our producer Sean Ambrose, and the ever-talented Dougie Beard for the fantastic camera angles, particularly Cosworth DFE cam, my personal favourite. If you'd like to find out more about what we do here at the Global Sim Racing Channel, including all of the upcoming races that we'll broadcast, you can find that information at globalsimracingchannel.com. Or check out our social media. We've got Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook, which is Global Sim Racing Channel, and finally Instagram at GSRC_gram. You can even represent us at the track with some GSRC merchandise, which you can find at gsrc.storeenvy.com. Don't forget to head on over to our YouTube page and hit that big red subscribe button as well, so that you never miss a moment here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.